World of Locked on Astros with World Series champion Ryne Stanek. He is back to talk to us about life after the title, what's been going on, and maybe looking into 2023. So let's get started and talk with this champion right now.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked on Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked on Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked on Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
Alrighty, we got a special guest today, Ryne Stanek, all the way from winning the World Series. I believe you're back in Tampa, is what I understand, and I'm sure you've had a fun offseason, a lot of celebration, but it's probably good to just relax a little bit and get ready for 2023. So where can they find you on Twitter?
Twitter, Instagram, both at rstanek_55. Yeah, on both.
All right. So, guys, thank you for making Locked on Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to us and go and give us a big fat like, and go ahead and listen to the audio version on Apple, Spotify, Odyssey, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out. So I know that this was an awesome season. You finished with a 1.15 ERA. I know it's not about individual accomplishments, but what you did as a reliever had to be pretty impressive. What was your biggest highlight or your biggest memory from the 2022 season outside of winning the World Series?
I mean, yeah, that's I think one. But I don't know, like the pretty wild. Like, obviously, like started off kind of just a month, and then we just played super consistent baseball from the favorite moment, dude. I don't know, man. Like the no-hitter in New York was cool. Series was really tight. Yeah, I don't know, like the top two.
Okay. So I want to talk to you on a personal note, because recently you just got married to your lovely bride, Jess. You just celebrated it. It was all over social media. We saw it. Some of your friends were posting stuff, and it looked like you had some of your closest friends. What's life like now being a married man?
It's been fun. And like the funny thing is, we actually got married like officially, legally, because we had gotten engaged, and a whole COVID shenanigans going on that we were trying to like out, but we knew we were going to have like the actual celebration. So we had been playing last year to actually happen this year. So we finally, it was awesome. It was a beautiful day. She crushed it. No, it was great. It was great to have everybody with us and to celebrate like that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, I know winning the World Series was pretty awesome as well. Being part of the no-hitter was awesome during the playoff game. What was it like? Just like being in the playoffs, just throughout the whole situation, just like not really talking about bullpen usage, but just being there, the whole pressure of, especially, I think the Seattle and the Yankee series, that was more of a, I guess it was it was pretty much determined. I mean, I know they're hard fought, but they didn't really make it a series. But the Phillies, that they made a little bit more of a series. But what is it like being in the bullpen, not knowing what situation you're going to come in the big moments?
I mean, I think that just kind of comes with the nature of the beast. You're in the bullpen, you on, or who is going to be. You kind of have the idea of like where, but like also if somebody's been worked pretty hard or whatever, like those and roles may kind of change. So I think in the bullpen in and of itself is just kind of a anxious part, but we had so much consistency with the guys that had been around. There's so much continuity that made it a lot easier to like situate yourself and be prepared for your spots based on the situation of the game, like exactly what was going on. So it made it a little bit.
It seemed like there was obviously a lot of confidence when I talked to you when you were in New York, again, when you were going to the playoffs, and then literally finishing the job, as many said, after you guys won the World Series. At the point when you win the World Series and you go into the offseason, there are your guys that say, we're putting that behind us and we're already focusing on next season. But how important is it for you as a pitcher or a player to maybe step away and reset your mind, get just focused on normal life so that you have the energy to go into the reporting for pitchers and catchers, which is right around the corner? What do you do to get yourself leveled out? And of course, I know you've had some extracurricular, events that have been less than normal. That doesn't happen every offseason for you, right? But what do you do? What does Ryne Stanek do to clear his mind?
Oh man, honestly, just a lot of the times, like, I mean, obviously this year, the break that I usually get be kind of a potato and like be kind of a burden. It didn't really happen because the wedding, we had the parade, then the wedding, then the honeymoon. So it was like that was basically like I usually take to kind of like put my body back together slowly and kind of like away some like downtime. But with all that going on, you didn't really get to do that as much. Or so at this point, it's trying to take the recovery day, like the slower days, and just kind of like relax and chill and play some video games and just kind of soak in some for now, and then until the madhouse starts up again.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I know this is not really on here, but Ryan Montero is coming back to the bullpen. You're keeping pretty much most of the bullpen pieces back. I know you mentioned that having the core together. What does it mean to have a guy like Montero back after he stepped up along with you and a couple other guys last year?
I mean, obviously, anytime you get to bring a guy that had such a good year back, you want to, and the success he had and what he had shown in the situation. I mean, he was our setup guy, and he closed for a while when Presley was like, he was just so steady for us all year. It's hard not to be excited to have a guy like that back, for one, because of the performance, and two, he's just a good dude. So it's always good to have around you.
Yeah, that is good. And that's the consistency that I like that you guys have, the confidence that you have in each other. And you and I even spoke with that while y'all were in between series with the Mets and the Yankees in New York, just the camaraderie you guys have. And we're going to talk a little bit more about, looking into the 2023 season. And I know that a lot of people are already betting on the Houston Astros going back and repeating for another World Series title. And if you are into betting, if you want to bet to see, will the Texans get the number one overall pick and who will they go with? Or will the Rockets win 20 games this year? You can go to betonline.net to get all your sports wagering needs. That's right. You can get your amateur sports, your professional sports, whether it's MMA, boxing, golf, hockey, You name the sport World Cup, they have it there for you. So check out our friends at betonline.net. They have podcast information and the latest lines on everything from props to regular bets and so much more. Check it out. Go to betonline.net. Use your mobile device or go to your computer today and just know that BetOnline, it's where the game starts.
All right, so I know that we had the the postseason, and it was a great postseason. Everything happened great. So I wanted to ask you a little bit. Now that you had some time to rest, when do you kind of get back into baseball mode again? I know you needed some time to kind of relax, but when do you start getting back into, okay, I need to start getting ready for spring training?
It's already started too. Basically, since I got back from our honeymoon, I next day off, and then was in the gym the day after that. Just kind of right back in the normal off-season prep. You just kind of get back normal as fast as possible because you don't have that much. Obviously, you play an extra, like a full extra month, and you don't get done until November 5th. You're like, well, spring training is still mid-February, so like you got to be ready for that. So this gets really condensed really fast. So you got to basically recover quick and get back. You're ready to go for camp.
So, this off season going into 2023, the talk is, will the Astros be back in the World Series? And we know every major league team, every major league you're on, no matter who it is, whether it's the Pirates, the Marlins, the Orioles, or the Astros, everybody will say, our goal is to get to the World Series, right? How do you, going into this season, apply the pressure that's put on y'all, because you still pretty much have your same team? You've improved with Jose Abreu. You did lose Justin Verlander, but you still have a very solid starting core. You still have everyone in the bullpen. How do you measure the pressure of going into 23 and the expectations and staying within yourselves as players and just going out every day and playing baseball like it's another game?
I mean, I think the best way to do that another game. I mean, that's kind of what this team has been built on. It's like, yeah, the goal is to win a ring and do all that, but you don't win game one. You go out there and you play every day. You play good baseball day, just because that's the job. That's the game. That's the process. Need to be like, our guys have been in these situations before, like, and then you come in with a short off season, you prepare to win again, and you just keep doing that. And there's a reason why that the success that's happened has been sustained, is because so many that are like leading the ship treat every day like it's a task to be. You get into every day and you try to win the day, and then you end up here, and most of the time you string a bunch together, like good things happen. So like, where the mentality is with the team, like, everybody's happy we won, obviously, but like, now is to try to win again.
So there are a couple questions here, Eric, I wanted to hit up on. One of them, I don't know if you'd be willing to answer it. Someone said, if you played with Andrew Benintendi, would you be willing to recruit him? Someone asked. And then someone also asked, have you seen the World Series ring and what does it look like? Did you play, on all seriousness, did you play with Benintendi? Were y'all at Arkansas at the same time?
No, we missed each other by drafted and winning a Pro Bowl was his freshman year. But like, we know each other, and I've known him for a long time, obviously since college. Like, we didn't play together, but we still so it's like we for a while had the same agent. Like, it was just like in contact. And I mean, I've even texted him this offseason seeing how it's going, because bit can be a lot. So I was just like, hey man, how you doing? Like, how's it going?" Before much had like really happened. So it was just kind of like, and uh, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I would bring up if he wanted to come. I'd speak very. It's been great for me. It's been a blast to be here.
Awesome.
Oh, in the ring, and yeah, I have not seen the ring. No idea what it'll look like.
I think that they want it to be a little bit more of a surprise for them, so they probably don't see them until they actually come out. So, I wanted to ask you. I know this next season there's going to be a few rule changes, namely the shift is going away. Do you see yourself changing how you pitch because the shift is going away, or do you think that's not really going to affect your pitching style?
I think for one, I think the shift being gone, a very minor thing, because every team that is going to look to see exactly where the limit to where they can shift is, move them as far as possible and still shift, but like within the new ring, more or
Right.
less, that they did before. So I think it's been, and also I'm typically a fly ball guy anyway, so if
Yeah.
it can't really be shifted that much. So um
So I've
so yeah, I mean, it's kind of whatever.
so I think another question too is this new pickoff rule where you have two pickoff attempts, and then on the third one, if you don't get it, the guy gets second or wherever he is. There's people talking about, well, gosh, once you get your two attempts, basically the runner could get like halfway off first base and halfway to second. Like, what are the discussions y'all are having as a pitching staff? Because that to me seems like a little bit more challenging rule because you got larger bases, the pickoff rule. Is that just something you're like, you
How
know
many
what,
inches?
I'll just deal with it when it comes?
I mean, it's not something we've even talked about. Honestly, it's where it got brought up. I think it's a bit ridiculous to limit a baseball play, an actual thing, to try to play baseball. You're taking it away from because they want more offense, and it's strictly because they want more offense. Um, the bases are only what 2 total inches. Was it 3 total inches bigger? Was how much bigger the bases?
Yeah, I believe. I mean, all I know is when I picked one of the larger bases up at Constellation Field when I was interviewing Jake Myers, I was like, "This is heavy. These kids at Minute Maid Park are going to have a hard time stealing the base.
They'll
Yeah, they're
have the
gonna
old
trip and
school one.
fall because
They're massive. Back
yeah,
injuries."
yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be a negligible thing. I think the limiting of pickoffs is trying to play too far into changing the game for no real reason. Giving the base runners an advantage by giving them the extra, but then you're also going to like tie another hand behind the pitcher's back so they reasonably control a running game whenever. I don't know. I think there are things that are directly going to change the game and have a direct impact on like wins and whenever. I mean, the stolen base in the game right now, like, back a little bit, but like it was pretty dead for a while, and I mean now give away outs on the base pass. Like some teams can do it if they have the personnel for it, but not everybody run like crazy. So you got to pick your spots and run smart. I think it's just trying to put too many fingerprints on the game when it's kind of, it is what it is. It's just they're gonna make the rule changes they want to make.
Yeah.
All right. So as a reliever, I know that you've played in a lot of different ballparks. I know that from what we saw, Philadelphia was pretty rough crowd. Yankees crowd is always rough. Do you have any interactions as you're warming up or in the bullpen with opposing fan bases, I guess, during the playoffs, or do you have any memorable interactions with fans?
Pleasant. Because everybody's chirping, doing their own thing. For the most part, you don't even hear it because like it doesn't matter, like bothering somebody, but they're like not like if you can't be able to have a discussion with your bullpen coach, your whatever situation is going on, to be able to like just talk as a human, you're not going to be any good on the field anyway. So you have to be able to hear things and like respond while you're warming up anyway. I think they're doing things, and I'm sure that everybody that's ever chirped ended up giving up a run was like, oh, I did that. And you're like, no, it just like you had nothing to do with somebody giving up a run. Like it did. But I mean, yeah, there's no real interesting stories. Like it's actually better if they're like funny, if they're actually witty. Like I'll give it to you. Like that's good. But like for the most part, it's just like you suck. Cool. That's got you got me.
No,
So
yeah.
no Miles Straw moments, I guess.
No, I've that willing to go up in the stands and get somebody. Nobody's been that bad.
But see, you know, that really, because I'm actually originally from Florida, and that fits a lot of my friends that I know that have lived in Florida their whole life. You just got that like you mess with my boy, man, I'm coming at you. And that I was like, that
Yeah.
was 100% Miles Straw. You know, I actually love that. I was like, that's him. But it's interesting because someone asked in the chat about, I guess, about 5 minutes ago. They were like, wait, how is Stanek so fired up on the mound? And right now he's so chill and he's so like relaxed.
He's not in
You
beast
know,
mode.
so question,
Yeah.
when you're with your daughter, hanging out with your daughter, are you like more chill dad, or are you like let's go fired up dad?
I don't know. I'm trying to be fun dad. Like I'm trying to be too serious. Like I don't want to raise a grumpy kid. Like I think relaxed and just kind of like I don't know is probably the way to be. I think I'd rather her be like happy and smiling and
Right. Yeah. I think as
make
parents, we all just,
fun of me.
yeah, we all kind of want to just like make our kids happy and everything. So um, I know that looking back at this season, we won the World Series, or Astros won the World Series. Y'all did. What do you think about the chances for 2023 now that you've added somebody like Jose Abreu? You did lose the ace in Justin Verlander. I'm sure you talk to the guys a lot. Are y'all just as confident as y'all were last year?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's obviously still very talented. Like like losing JV is a small loss because obviously he's who he is and he did what he's easy to replace by any means. But I think if anybody's going to like that, I think we're as capable personnel wise of sustaining anybody else in the league could possibly be. So I think like while he's a spectacular player, like to maybe not replace him at that exact level, but very, very good, talented arm that is more than capable of having. It's not like you lose You lose a guy like that, and you're flipping a coin to see if maybe a guy from AAA is like ready, like caliber arms and established big league arms that are able to step difference.
So let's do this to wrap things up, Ryne. Let me ask you, if you had to pick any position player on the Astros to be a starting pitcher, one relief pitcher, and one closer, who is your starting pitcher from your position players right now? Come on.
Oh,
This is
this is horrible because none of them are good.
well,
None of this.
let's just say you have to deploy them. Rob Manfred just instituted a new rule that you have to play one position player as a starter, one as a relief pitcher, and one as a closer. Who's your starter?
I think Tucker would kill me if I don't, because he throws like a flat ground every day because he wants to pitch so bad. Damn. Dude, this is I legitimately don't know. I would say it have to be like a starter actually throw like a bunch. So I would say it'd have to be Maldi or Corey. Maybe Corey. Corey's got a really good arm. He throws the ball hard. Corey. No, but Maldi would start because he could. Kyle would have to be a bridge guy somewhere. Actually, sneaky is Jordan.
I was about to say
I would go Corey Lee to start. I'd go Jordan Lowe's, and then Tuck can fiddle farther because he's sinker changeup breaker.
So you're starting. So basically, what you're saying is you're starting Corey Lee. You've got your middle guy as Kyle Tucker, and you got your closer as Jordan Alvarez. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not bad.
I think that would be the play.
You might be a coach one day, Ryne.
All right, no,
it's my credentials. I'm struggling.
Here's a terrible question. Now, who's the last person you would put in as a mop-up guy? You've used all the relievers, and you just have to put somebody in, and you don't really care who it is. And you're already down 20-2 or something.
So, who am I not putting in?
No, who would you put in? I guess the worst possible option.
Oh, God. The worst possible option to pitch? Dude, I don't even know, because most of these guys I've never seen throw off a mound, good or bad. Like, I think that's the wildest part.
How about Jose Altuve? Just because, can you imagine him on the mound?
He would just laugh the whole time. He would just he'd just be like, dude, why am I up here? This is dumb. Like at this point, I'm not pitching. I don't know. I thought that like that might be like the most likeness. Like
that's kind of where I was going.
Get it? Yeah. Just because awesome. He's like, I'm not doing this.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Ryne, thank you for taking time out from your family and from your busy schedule to come hang out with us again. We always enjoy having you on, and it's really cool for us to be able to say World Series champion. You can see I got the World Series champions banner. We've got all the gear. We've got polos and everything already, and so we're really looking forward to it. I know spring training we're looking forward to as well. More than likely making our way down there this year, so we'll definitely have to see you then as well. But good luck this offseason, and tell Tucker and all them, we like them as right fielders. We don't need them as pitchers. But, hey, I would love to see him throw a flat ground at spring training. So I'm joking. Let's not inflate that ego, right?
I can tell you he's not going to pitch. It's fine.
Well, hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm H-Town Willhouse. He's Eric the Man Heisman. He is Ryan, the world champion Stanek. and he's hanging out with us tonight. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. And make sure that you turn into Locked On Sports Today. They have all the latest stories, all the biggest headlines, and they have the take of the day. So check them out on the Odyssey app, just like you do Locked On Astros, Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will talk to y'all soon. And as always, like Eric says,
Go Stros.